we will learn about sorting materials into groups according to their properties. All materials or things can be arranged systematically on the basis of certain similarities. This is called sorting, grouping, or classification. Materials or things should be grouped to save time. Grouping of things in an order helps to save time. If things are put in order, one can quickly find what one is looking for. For example, a chemist quickly finds the medicine that a customer asks for. And to save effort, grouping of things in an order also saves energy. In a library, every book is arranged in shelves on the basis of subjects or authors. We can thus easily find a book in a library. This saves the effort to look for a particular book among so many books. Every material is made up of matter. Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. A book, a table, an apple, a cup, everything is made up of matter. Mass of a thing is a measure of how heavy it is. All things have some mass. Some things have more mass than others. Space is the amount of place a thing takes. All things occupy space. Some things occupy more space than others. For example, a book occupies more space than an eraser. Matter is made up of very small, invisible particles called atoms. Atoms are so small that they cannot be seen with naked eyes. So, everything around us is made up of small, invisible particles called atoms. Materials can be identified on the basis of their properties. The first property of materials is appearance. We can identify a material by its appearance, that is, what it looks like. Some materials have a shine, whereas some look dull. We can also identify a material by its roughness or smoothness. For example, the surface of a sandpaper is rough, whereas a glazed paper is smooth. By looking at the state of a material, we can tell if it is a solid, a liquid, or a gas. The second property of materials is hardness. Different materials have different degrees of hardness. Some materials like iron and wood cannot be compressed. These materials are called hard. On the other hand, some materials like cotton and sponge can be compressed. These materials are called soft. The third property of materials is state. A material can be a solid, a liquid, or a gas. A solid has a definite shape and size which cannot be changed. For example, a brick. A liquid like water takes the shape of its container. If you pour water from a bottle to a glass, it will take the shape of the glass. A liquid, though, has a fixed volume. A gas does not have a fixed shape and a volume. It spreads out and occupies whatever space is available to it. Fragrance of a perfume spreads throughout a room quickly. The fourth property of materials is solubility. All substances, whether a solid, a liquid, or a gas, dissolve in water. The property of a substance to dissolve in water is called its solubility, and such a substance is called a soluble. The fifth property of materials is magnetism. Objects made of iron, nickel, and cobalt are attracted to a magnet. They are magnetic materials. Other materials such as copper, wood, paper, etc. are not attracted to a magnet. They are non-magnetic materials. The sixth property of materials is electrical and thermal conductivity. Some materials like silver and copper that allow the heat and electricity to pass through them are called good conductors of heat and electricity. Generally, metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. Other materials such as wood and plastic do not allow the heat to pass through them. They are insulators. Generally, non-metals are bad conductors of heat and electricity. A liquid that dissolves in water is called a miscible liquid. Lemon juice and vinegar are some examples of miscible liquids. A liquid that does not dissolve in water is called an immiscible liquid. Oil and water are some examples of immiscible liquids. So, substances that disappear or dissolve completely in water are called soluble substances, and substances that do not disappear or dissolve completely in water are called insoluble substances. Let's do another activity.
Well done! Well done! Well done! Well done!
Excellent! You have completed the activity.
Lastly, let's look at transparency, another property of materials. Some materials, like wood, do not allow light to pass through them. Such materials are called opaque. Some materials, like glass, allow light to pass through them. They are called transparent. Certain materials like wax paper and frosted glass allow only a part of light to pass across them, so that you can see feebly through them. They are called translucent. Let's do another activity. Click to identify the following substances as transparent, opaque, or translucent.
Well done! Well done!
Excellent! You have completed the activity.
Let's do another activity.
Well done! Well done! Well done! Well done! Try again.
Excellent! You have completed the activity.
Let's summarize what we have learned. Grouping of materials or things involves arranging them systematically on the basis of certain similarities. Materials are grouped to save time and effort. Every material is made up of matter. Anything that has mass and occupies space is called matter. Mass of a thing is a measure of how heavy it is. Space is the amount of place a thing takes. Matter is made up of very small, invisible particles called atoms. Materials can be grouped on the basis of their properties, namely appearance, hardness, state, solubility, magnetism, transparency, electrical conductivity, and thermal conductivity.